Have you ever found yourself wondering, what is my unique purpose? What am I really here to do? Well, today we're going to break down a really powerful framework from Dr. Mike Murdock that might just hold the answer. He calls it the assignment. Let's dive in.
So let's just start with a big question. I want you to take a moment and honestly think about this. What is the one thing that truly makes you different from every single other person on this planet?
Well, according to the source material, the answer isn't your job or where you're from. The core idea is this: your unique difference is your life's assignment. That very thing that sets you apart, that's your purpose.
Okay, so what does that even mean, the assignment? Let's get a really clear definition of what we're talking about here.
So the assignment is your unique purpose, your point of distinction from everyone else. But it gets even more specific. It's framed as the problem you feel this deep pull to solve in the world. You know, a problem that no one else is equipped to solve in the exact same way you are.
And to make it super clear, let's look at what the assignment is versus what it isn't. It's not about these external labels, right? Things like your nationality or your appearance. Nope. It's about that internal drive, that specific problem that gets under your skin, the thing that makes you, you.
You know, there's a really simple but kind of perfect analogy in the source that drives this home. Think about it. Everything has a unique function. My pen is for writing, not for seeing. My ears are for hearing, not for speaking. And the point is that you, just like them, have a very specific, singular function you were made to fulfill.
Okay, so that all sounds great. But if we each have this unique purpose, how in the world do we actually find it? This next part offers some really practical clues for uncovering your personal assignment.
Now, this next idea is a huge mindset shift. The framework suggests you don't invent your purpose. It's not a decision you just make one day. It's a discovery. It's something you uncover that's already there, deep inside you.
So the source gives us 4 main clues to look for. First, what do you love doing so much you just lose all track of time? Second, if money were no object, what would you do for free? Third, whose success are you genuinely, truly invested in? And fourth, and this one is a really big deal, what makes you angry?
Let's really dig into that last clue for a second, because this idea is so powerful. The point here is that your anger isn't just some negative emotion to be avoided. It's actually energy. It's like a giant spotlight pointing directly at something you were put on this earth to fix, to change, or to correct.
And there's this incredible real-world example of this in action. The founder of MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. She channeled the absolute rage and grief from losing her child into action. That raw emotion, that hatred for that injustice became her assignment. And think about it. It has saved countless lives.
So this brings us to the mechanics of it all. How does your assignment actually connect to your value in the world and, the rewards you receive for it?
Well, the foundational principle is pretty simple. Your purpose exists to solve a problem. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor solving sickness or an entrepreneur solving a market need, your value is directly tied to the problem that you solve.
And you can really see how this reward system works. Your assignment puts you in a position to solve a very specific problem. The better you are at solving that problem, the more value you create. And that value, well, that leads directly to your reward, whether that's financial, personal, or even spiritual.
And this is a really important piece of the puzzle. Your assignment is specific. You are the perfect solution for a particular person or group of people, but you're not for everyone. And you know what? Understanding that is incredibly freeing. It means you don't have to waste your energy trying to please everybody.
Okay, so to really bring these ideas to life, the source material uses some fascinating historical and biblical parables. Let's take a look at some of the core lessons that we can pull from them.
So what can we learn? Well, from Adam, the lesson is all about following instructions because some mistakes are just irreversible. Then there's Joseph, and the takeaway there is to protect your vision and focus on serving others. Esther's story, that one teaches us to prepare for our big moment, which, by the way, often shows up looking like a crisis. And finally, Ruth's story reminds us of the power of excellence, that someone influential is always watching what you do.
All right, let's start to bring this all together. What does it actually look like, and what does it feel like to fully embrace this idea of living on assignment?
Well, the biggest payoff, according to this framework, is a deep and unshakable self-confidence. I mean, when you know what you are here to do, you just stop depending on other people's opinions for your sense of worth. Your purpose becomes your anchor.
And I love this final analogy because it just makes so much sense. Think about this. You don't go into a Chinese restaurant and get mad because they don't sell hot dogs, right? Of course not. That's because we've accepted their specific assignment. Well, when you know your own assignment, you and everyone around you can have that exact same clarity about your unique contribution.
So we'll leave you with this one question to think about, and it ties right back to one of those first clues we talked about. If money, resources, all of that was completely off the table, what is the one problem you would dedicate your life to solving? Because according to this framework, the answer to that question might just be the discovery you've been looking for.